Now before we begin all the ladies, there are a few things that we must know. First of all, if anyone has brought with them any food items this day, particularly meat items, please be aware that these are predators that do eat meat. If you've got turkey legs, steak on a stick, anything you like, please hide all food items at this time. Next, rules and ladies, if anyone happens to have brought with them any pets this day, please be aware that those too are meat items. Dogs, cats, ferrets, pocket mice, children, anything like that, please hide those things very well at this time. And lastly, rules and ladies, if any of the birds happen to fly next to you, please do not at any time reach out to try and touch them. That could be hazardous for both you and for the birds. That being said, rules and ladies, are we ready to see some birds of prey? Then let's begin. We are first going to meet a very beautiful bird that's considered to be the most common and numerous bird of prey in all of North America, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. Let's test your identification skills, see if anyone can identify this bird. Rules and ladies, please welcome Spike to the program. Give him a big welcome, everyone. Now, this type of bird is really valuable to our environment because they are the most common and numerous bird of prey. They eat things like rabbits, rats, squirrels, mice, rattlesnakes. Snakes in general is also a big part of their diet. Now, speaking of things that he might eat, would you, in fact, like to see him do a little bit of hunting for us here today? Really? Are we sure about that? Okay, well, you're in luck, rules and ladies. It's a really short walk over to the paddock, so follow me down this road, right? You're a bloodthirsty one, you know that, right? We're going to do a simulated hunt here, ladies. We're going to see if we can get him to attack a leather lure that he's trained to attack, much the same as he would attack prey out in the wild. Looks like he's about ready. You know how I know that? He's watching me like a hawk. And he's caught his prey. Nicely done, lad. Now, he will protect this just as if he's captured real prey, and a bird this size has around 250 pounds of pressure per spirit of gripping power in each foot. When they grab a hold of their prey, those feet lock down into place until they've relaxed enough to let it go, typically once that prey is dispatched. I think it's quite dead. It's leather, it has been for some time actually. Alright, let's trade. There we go. Now, Spike is with us because he was being held illegally in someone's backyard. What they had done is tied him with one of his legs by baling wire and tied him to a tree and kept him in their backyard. When he was discovered, the wire was so badly embedded in his skin that it had to be surgically removed. He's doing much better now. There we go. He's done a fine job for us. We'll send him back inside. Say goodbye to Spike, everyone. Hup. Ho, hup. He's calculating his exit. Good job. He did a fine job. Alright, boys and ladies, up next, we're going to see another bird you typically see circling really high up in the sky, or perhaps even feasting along the roadside. Does anybody have a clue for this one? Vulture, that's right. There's two species of vultures found here in this country. There's a turkey vulture, which has a red head, and the black vulture, which we're going to meet here today. So, boys and ladies, please welcome Igor to the show. Give him a big welcome, everyone. Now, this bird is very valuable to our environment because they help to keep a balance in nature of the things that they eat. They clean up all of the dead and decaying animals that would otherwise spread disease around the land. Hey, you coming out of here? Yeah. Igor. Yes, master. Yes, master. Or is it Igor, right? Did I get that right? Hey, Igor, your turn. Yeah, certainly. So if we get a glimpse of him, these birds are very tolerant and even immune to a lot of diseases. For instance, he could actually consume an entire bowl of botulism, not even be affected by that. Very well suited to their job out in the wild. Now, they also considered to be very intelligent. He was intelligent enough to know that it's hot out here and he didn't want to come out. So that being said, we're going to test his intelligence here today, and we're going to do that by showing you that birds can in fact see in colour. To do that, we have my own princess here, Piper, who's going to help us out here today. Give her a big welcome as well if you would. His job is to choose the same coloured egg that she picks out of that basket. So what's your colour? Yellow. Igor, yellow is going to be your colour today. Here we go. Find your yellow egg. Go find the yellow one. Good job. Nicely done. Yes, it's still yellow. Right, it is. Now, good job. Oh, come on. You know, you can fly, honestly. There you go. All right, he's done a fine job for us. We'll send him back as well. Say goodbye to Igor, the black one. Oh, hey. So, by the way, today's one of his first days actually going back into that particular door. So he did it! Huzzah! First time. We've been having to do it the old-fashioned way and put him in the door. All right. Next up, we've seen so far what we call diurnal birds and daytime birds. Anyone know what we might encounter abroad at night time? Shout that out. Owl. I'm sorry, who? Owl. Who? Owl. I know. It's a really foul joke. Keep letting me on this a lot more. Lords and ladies, please welcome Albus Dumbledore to the show. Give him a big welcome as well. Now, Albus is learning to fly in front of an audience today. So we've been getting him to do some short distance flights. You are the last element of him doing a complete behavior, because we can't rehearse with them when we don't have an audience to do this final behavior. So you were actually part of his training here today. So that being said, we're going to get him to do a short distance hop right over here on the safety line. Ready? Up. Good job. And right over there.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah. He's a little bit lighter now. All right, watch, here we go. We're going to have him do a short distance flight. Piper, go. Good job, all right. And by the way, it's not harmful for these birds to be out during the daylight. Or did somebody say they don't come out at daylight, right? They can even come out during the daylight, they just prefer to hunt mostly at night when they don't have as much competition. Owls have significant nighttime vision. It only requires approximately the light from one candle to see approximately 1 mile away for these birds. They have significant eyesight. Woo! Good job, lad. He's doing a great job so far. Now, in birds of prey species, females are actually larger by about 1/3, let go, compared to the males in overall body weight and size. This bird has approximately 250 pounds of pressure gripping power in those feet, whereas the female we're about to meet has about 350 in hers. So, that being said, let's see the comparison. Golden ladies, please welcome Luna to the show as well. Now, Albus here was actually found as a baby bird at the bottom of a tree by a hiker who took him to a wildlife center where they raised him with the intent to release him back to the wild. However, he became what's called a malimprint, which just basically means he thinks he's something he's not. Birds go through a process that usually occurs in the first few hours and days of their life, but they take a mental picture of what it is they think they're supposed to be, which should have been the parent to the nest. He took his mental image of a person, so basically he thinks he's one of us. That, or he thinks everybody's an owl, either way. The point is he identifies himself as being the same thing. Luna here, you notice, is quite a bit bigger, and she would have a much bigger prey that she could catch. So they eat rabbits, rats, squirrels, mice, snakes, and does anybody know what the horned owl's favorite food actually is? I'll give you a hint. It's black and white and smelly all over. That's right, so it's a good thing that they also do not have a sense of smell, isn't it? Alright, so we've seen small, medium, now let's meet large. Lords and ladies, a new addition to our program, the newest addition. He's just 6 months old, and he's not just any owl. This is called an eagle owl. Please welcome Nicodemus, lords and ladies. This is the largest species of owl on Earth. He has between 600 and 800 pounds of gripping power in his feet. He's not standing up, he's being a bit shy actually, he's leaning down. There we go. Now keep in mind, a female is actually another third larger than this, so that's what makes it the biggest type of owl on Earth. They eat rabbits, rats, squirrels, mice, snakes, and you can add foxes to the list of their diet as well. They are extremely powerful birds. Just by looking at him, anybody care to take a guess? How much do you estimate he might weigh? Shout it out. 5 pounds, 50 pounds, 100, 2 pounds, $1. What? He weighs just 4 pounds. You've got to remember, birds have hollow bones to allow them to fly, so they have a much different mass to them compared to other animals of similar size. They've done a great job for us, lords and ladies. We're going to get a chance to see some of them again at the end of the program. So for now, say goodbye to His Majesty's favourite, the Royal Hooters, lords and ladies.
The Royal Hooters.
What? Did you notice the left one was bigger? If they get it, it's not my fault. Alright.
Don't take him on, it only gets worse.
She said don't egg him on, it only gets worse. I'm just winging it here, lords and ladies. My lovely wife, Lady Shannon, lords and ladies. Alright, up next. We're going to bring out another bird I think you'll enjoy seeing up first. This one is actually one that is another new addition to our program, and he's been doing really fantastic. He's also 6 months old, but he's been acting a little off since we've introduced you as the audience. So, we're going to cross our feathers and hope for the best. So that being said, I'd like to introduce everyone to Finn, the Harris Hawk. Give him a big welcome, everybody. Now, this type of bird is very unusual for a few reasons. First off, most birds of prey choose a single mate and they live and hunt within a specific territory. This bird lives in groups and colonies and they hunt together in packs. They are nicknamed the air wolf because their hunting technique is very similar to that of wolves. Now, what they will do is get together in groups of 5, 10 or more at a time. Some of them will get down on the ground on foot and chase prey out from the underbrush. Meanwhile, there'll be others of them waiting in the surrounding area to ambush the prey as it's flushed out into the open by the birds on the ground. That's what's called cooperative hunting, and it's very rare for a bird to do. Why don't you go ahead and let's serve him a lure. I'll tell you what, you know what? He's not done this in front of an audience yet, and I'm going to try and get him to do it because he's going to progress a little bit. Let's do it right here. So what I want him to do is something called a wing over. It's a behavior that he's been rehearsing to do, but he's not done it in front of anyone yet. So what I want him to do is to attack this, but I'm going to pull it away at the last second. Let's see if he'll actually do it and flip back over. Ready? You've got a bird on your shoulder there. Just there, did you know? There we go, he got it. So he's just learning that behavior, but the full behavior is that when I pull that away, he will go straight up and then flip back over and come back down. That's what we're working towards. So come back towards the end of the pair and we'll see it. Over there. Missed it. One or the other. He's not stuck, he's not letting it go. He's still killing it. You gotta let it go, man. There you go. Good job. Alright, let's send him back inside. Ho, ho, say goodbye to Finn, everyone. All right. Next up, we're going to meet a bird from Africa that's really strikingly... Hey, what happened there? Oh, the door is stuck. He's coming back. Just go ahead and pull him out and put him somewhere inside. I think he just flipped you the bed. Right? There we go. Just call him to the fist and say goodbye, everybody. Stand by. All right. Here we go. I think. All set? Just if you can pull the door down itself, see if that'll work. Huzzah to Norm, our sound guy. All right. Lords and ladies, this is a very beautiful bird to see up close. He's unusual for a couple of reasons as well. This one being his name. You'll see what I mean when he comes out here. So, lords and ladies, please welcome Orion, the African auger buzzard. Give him a big welcome. Watch your heads over here. Hup, hup. Now, this bird's unusual for a few reasons. First of all, his name. It is called the African auger buzzard, but what does he look like? A hawk. You're right, it is a hawk. It's in the hawk family. The difference is in the language. In Europe and Africa, where these birds are found, hawks are actually named buzzards, whereas here in the States, vultures are sometimes called buzzards. The difference is, there's not actually an animal here in this country that's named a buzzard like he is. We're going to do a behavior right now, so here we go. Hup, hup. Now, this type of bird does a behavior that's called kleptoparasitism. It does not mean he steals parrots. It means they steal food from other animals. To be able to do that, he's got a really short tail that allows him to flip upside down like that to steal food away from other birds while they're flying away with their prey. Now comes the fun part, getting this away from him. He's actually one of our more aggressive birds, and he generally does not like to give this back. Can I have it back, please? I guess not. Fine. Let's trade over there. Good job. Now, Orion not only appears here in the show, but he also has a special job here at the festival. He also delivers wedding rings to our happy couples that are getting married out here as well. I know, all together now. Well done, everyone. Let's say goodbye to Orion. Now, this next bird was actually introduced to our program last season. How many of you actually came out last season? Welcome back, and thank you all for coming back again. This particular bird had been a display bird for several years. He was a bird that actually had been the victim of a vehicle impact, and we did not think he was ever going to be flighted in any capacity whatsoever because he had a badly damaged wing. We're going to see what progress he's actually made, so I'd like to introduce everyone to the other kind of vulture found here in this country, the turkey vulture. Please welcome Severus, everyone. Now you're going to notice when he flies out that he looks a little odd, and that's because he's actually adapted to the injury that he had. But he's actually doing pretty good. He's going to wave hello to everyone over there. Now this is actually a natural behavior that vultures do. It's called sunning. And it's a behavior that they do particularly after they have eaten a meal, which, as you know, is very messy for them. But he's also a daddy's boy. He's going to come see me. There you go. Good job, Daddy. This type of bird is unusual because, remember, most birds do not have a sense of smell. This is the exception to the rule. This one has a fantastic sense of smell, on par with that of some dogs that have a really good sense of smell. In fact, they are right now in Germany studying a way for them to work in conjunction with dogs to do a special job, and that is to find cadavers following disasters. So what they're trying to do is get them to signal to the dogs from the air, because they can cover a lot more ground than the dogs can.
but they want to signal to the dogs on the ground that they have found something, so that the dogs can go take a closer look. It's actually working, and hopefully that's going to be an established method in the future if we unfortunately have disasters like that.
Well, he's done a fantastic job. He's doing a great job. Let's go ahead and send him inside.
Hopefully heck not by himself this time. Well, we're taking bets whether he comes to me or goes inside. All right. Good job.
All right, boys and ladies, are we ready for the largest and most dangerous bird we have to share with you here today? Those of you right down the middle, boys and ladies, get your cameras up. This is a bird with close to a 7-foot wing spread, and he's going to be coming straight across you right there. Gentlemen, I should also mention that this bird does not like men at all, including me. So I'm going to step out of the way. Boys and ladies, please welcome Ray, the king vulture, to the show. He's from South America. And it does take him a moment to come out, but you'll get a nice breeze as he passes by. But, now, the reason that he does not like men is not because he's ever been mistreated or abused or anything like that. He was an accidental hatch at a zoo in Arizona where he was primarily raised by the lady zookeepers. But whenever he needed to be treated for medical reasons or be groomed in some fashion, the guys would come around and restrain him because he's such a big bird. Consequently, 30 years later, he still has that stuck in his head. He thinks if we get close to him, he's going to get grabbed. Get ready. Up. Stay. Best trainer. It does take him a moment to get out. Go. Up. Nicely done. Now, I do want to mention, all the ladies, that of the 23 species of vultures that are found here in this country, around the world, this year, 19 of those are endangered or critically endangered. And it's related to something you would never expect, and that is, watch it, ivory poaching. So, what's been going on in Africa and India in particular, over here, is the vultures know who the poachers are, and they follow them around waiting for them to kill something, whether it's a rhino or an elephant. So the problem that presents for the poachers is that gives away their position to the game wardens, right? So what the poachers have started doing is just shooting all the birds they see, then poisoning the carcasses to kill off the rest of them. The problem with that is that some vultures don't reach breeding age until they turn 7 years old. And even then, they only have one child every other year. So they just cannot keep up with the massive numbers that have been destroyed out in the wild. So many of you might remember, if you've been here in the past, another giant vulture that we've had here. It was one that would remove all of the meat off of a chicken drumstick, usually in less than 15 seconds. Anybody remember her?
Yeah.
And the African whiteback vulture. Her species, 2 years ago, declined in the wild by 99% because of those activities. So she had been in our program here at the festival for the last 22 years. So, because of all of those activities out in the wild, she was one of only 12 whitebacks left in this country. So we partnered with the Dallas Zoo to set up a breeding program to commit her to hopefully start producing young to return back out into the wild when it's safe to do so. Thank you very much. I have one parting thought for you all, ladies, and here we go. Does anybody know why the vulture crossed the road? It's because the chicken didn't wake him. Lords and ladies, if you would like to drop something in our baskets, please know all proceeds benefit these animals directly. There's some lantern bird feeders in the back, and this year we actually have a way that's non-contact. You can scan those items if you would like to do it that way. Thank you for joining us here today. I hope you have a magical day here at our festival. Take care, everyone.